Good evening. This is the Greenway Advisory Committee meeting for February 19th, 2018. We do have a quorum, and we're going to go straight into some new business with AC.
All right. First off, let me say I am so happy to see all of y'all here. It's fantastic. This is, I think, one of the biggest boards we've had in a while, so I'm glad to see everybody here. And welcome back. I understand you just had a little one?
Yes.
So, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's not a lot to report other than spoke with the assistant city administrator today, Kyle Brown. There was a meeting with the state and the city and the contractors that do the Greenway, and it's kind of they're trying to work it out. It's kind of up in the air on who's going to do what or who's going to be responsible for what after the flood. I don't know if you spoke with Kyle or not, Jason, but they're in the process of working out the details of that. For now, we're still stuck in limbo because it's not technically the city's Greenway just yet. So I can't send my guys out there to do any work, or you know, if you go out there and you get hurt and it's technically not ours yet, then the liability is just too much. So we do the minimum things that we can do. You know, if there's some really bad trash or somebody throws a couch out there, which happens, we'll go and get that and stuff. But we do still have it closed right now. It's posted that it's closed. I see patrons walking on it all the time, but it's posted closed because there's some really dangerous spots out there from when that flood went through. It washed out some of the edges. If you step off that trail on some sides, you're looking at 2 feet a drop off. So that has to all be pulled back in and, you know, made a slope away from the trail. So there's some bad spots out there right now. So that's where it's at as far as the meeting went. They're still discussing who's going to do what.
Now, talking to the assistant city administrator today, I was informed that there would be a change order and some discussion on it to get the details finalized at the upcoming BOMA workshop and meeting. So we should hopefully by the next meeting have an official date as to when this year-plus long project
Seems like it's longer than that.
will be wrapped up.
Yeah. It's been a while. It really has. And we're ready to start working on it because the longer it sits out there and we can't go out there and do the things that we need to do, once it's turned over to us, that's going to be all hands on deck just to get it back to where it was before the flood. So it's, you know, the weeds don't stop growing because nobody can make their mind up about who's going to fix it, you know. Grass is growing, trees are growing, bushes are growing over the trail, so all that stuff's got to be taken care of. So.
As a citizen, that's pretty concerning that we even have to have that conversation. It hasn't been turned over to the city, so therefore it is yours, and it is your responsibility. And I understand there are forces of nature working against you, but if you bid on this job, you knew what you were up against. Surely you've built other greenways, so. It's very disturbing that we are even having this conversation. It is still that company's, and that company, in my opinion, is responsible for it. I don't feel like we, the citizens, should have to pay for anything else. It's yours. So I hope they do the best thing in their negotiations for the citizens and the city.
I agree. You know, just the fact that the parking lot lifted up, that shows poor engineering. So that they need to go back and relook at that. Every greenway, for the most part, is built in a floodplain. That's what those are designated for, what you can build. Right. And so their engineering should have stood up to that because this isn't like the 2010 flood that flooded our town. Right. This was just, you know, a flash flood. Mm-hmm. So if every flash flood that comes through does this type of damage, we're going to be looking at tons of money needed for repairs on a yearly basis, and that's just not in our budget.
Right.
So they need to go back and look at the engineering and make it right.
Well, it needs to be at least to where, you know, it can handle, you know, build some curbs or whatever to make the water go up and over instead of under. And I mean, it'll be our responsibility once it's turned over to us, and it will happen again. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of when, because y'all know how it rains around here. It's gonna happen again, and we're gonna have to take care of it. So. But until it's ours, you know, it needs to be made right. So.
Absolutely.
I mean, other greenways don't have 2 feet drop off after flash floods come through. So there has to be something that they did wrong in the sloping or the material that they put down. So,
Well, the bad thing is some of the trail is so close to the creek in a lot of areas as it winds down through there. Once that creek rises up and the way that water was rushing in that last one, and it's running all of that gravel and all of that crush and run that was up against the pavement of the walking trail, just pulled it right out of there. So there's some
So
pretty.
it's not a matter of the sod and things on the sides that
No.
isn't taking it, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's there, and everything looked fine, and it was stabilized fine, but the water was just running through there so hard. I mean, I had a video of it. I couldn't believe it. When I came to work that morning, I drove by, I was like, wow. It was all the way out to the road, and it was moving.
It looked like a river.
It did.
It did, because
It was
when I
moving.
drove by, it was probably similar time frame.
Yeah, and all the trees that they planted out there and all the shrubs, gone. There's only one tree left laying out there.
Yeah.
And if you've gone down it, when you get to the very long bridge, you can actually see the stream that runs,
Okay.
right by it. So, anytime, I mean, it's already a wide stream. Anytime that it floods like that, you're going to see that overflow. I mean, that's.
And in some
why
spots,
floods
it's
up.
like 20, 30 feet away. It's pretty close in some spots. So, but that's where we're at right now. So we'll hopefully we'll know more after the next mayor alderman meeting.
Does anyone have any other questions about the Greenway? I know I had some people express some questions to me online about extensions to the current Greenway, even though it's not open. I know that's something that we've kind of discussed here before, where the city's doing some engineering with the water lines and looking at possibly going down the old roadbed. But at this point, it's not something that's fully engineered out or funded at this point. But that's something I know several people were asking about just here today.
We still have to do some work with the Corps of Engineers on that, correct?
Yeah, we'd have to get their buy-in on it.
Right. Yeah. It'd be nice.
Yeah, it's
Of course,
really
if I could get some more people to help out with that, it'd be even better. So,
Budget
but
is coming up.
it's coming up. That's right.
Budget year
I'm
is
getting
coming.
ready.
and you've got a whole committee here that will fight for you because
Okay.
we know you need the manpower.
All right. My presentation is due on, I think, March 8th. So y'all come on out.
Now, I do also want to recognize we've got Ryan Bazari, who's our newest member to the board, just recently
Welcome.
appointed.
Thank you.
And then, like AC alluded to, Kelsey has joined us. So we're definitely filling up this board very quickly.
Awesome. I'm glad to see
glad to
everybody
see
here again. So,
Yeah.
great.
It's exciting to have new people here to give more ideas.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Yeah.
for allowing us.
Anyone have any other questions on the Greenway?
How did the bridges fare?
What's that?
How did the bridge fare?
The bridges were fine. They were very stable and nothing washed out around them that caused any kind of structural damage. The bridges were good. It was mostly around the walking trail and the culverts and stuff that got washed out, so.
Do you have any idea how much repairs would be? Just a ballpark?
I could not, I don't even want to guess at it. It's going to be pretty substantial, though. It's a lot. Yeah.
Now, once it is ours, are we going to have procedures in place for that?
For what? For,
For any, damage that happens with,
well, hopefully there'll be some countermeasures that we can take as we go and as we learn, where our trouble spots are. But, a lot of it, with a rain like we had that day or like 2010, a lot of it is just to go shovel it back in there and pack it back in and make it, nice again. So it's just going to depend, but we're hoping that we can put some countermeasures in place when we see our trouble spots, So some of it, there's really not anything you can do anything about, but we're going to do what we can. So.
now, are these things that some of our city departments could do, or would it be something
yeah,
to be looking at an
absolutely.
outside contractor, or?
Well, hopefully it'll be things that we can do, the city can do, So maybe, get our public works department involved and if it's something that, we can shore up within the city and save the money, that would be good.
Yes.
Right, like we'd have stormwater look at it for
Exactly.
potential issues.
Yep.
See about having Adam and our engineering engineer that out if possible, that sort of thing.
Yes. That way we use our resources and don't have to spend additional money, so that would be nice.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, the next meeting will be April 16th at 7 PM. And call this meeting adjourned.
All right.